Okay, this is a little different from my usual stuff, but like, do we actually know what my usual content is? It's just me talking and having art in front of me. So I feel like this is chill. In like January, I got diagnosed with like tendonitis, so I couldn't really do a lot of stuff for a few months. So I just like read like a bunch of graphic novels because I was like, oh, one of my goals this year is to read 5 books, right? Because last year I think I said I'd read 5 books, and then I read like 3. So I really wanted to read, and I also was so goddamn bored, and I was stuck at my house. Well, at my mom's house. I was in the middle of moving to my new place. And I was so bored, so I just kept going to the library, and I kept just like grabbing book after book after book, and it was so fun. Like it was so fun reading and like writing down my reviews for Storygraph, and it was so fun. And it was like every day I had like piles of books that I was like, all right, I'm gonna go return this to the library. And my family was like, you're crazy. And I was like, I know, but I feel like I'm cabin fevering. um, so, I mostly wanted to talk about 2 books that I read during that time period, and maybe this kind of like thing could become like a series, and I could get back into reading graphic novels again. I mainly just want to talk about like the 2 top graphic novels that I read. One of them is very familiar, the other might not be. Yeah, so one of my reviews is a lot more in depth than the other one, but that's just because I got really into one of the books. Yeah, and both are about the military, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I read this book called The Squire, not The Squire, sorry. Okay, I read a book called Squire by Nadia Shamas, and it was so good. Like it's in a little notes tab that I made called "You need to recommend this to everyone. This is the one. This is a good book." So I have a little list of like my 5-star books that I read during that time period, and that's one of those books. And I really recommend this to anyone who's really into graphic novels, a little bit of like military propaganda, kind of, a little bit more on the serious side. Really recommend this. It's really good. It's kind of a thicker graphic novel, but it was a very quick read for me. I think I read it in like a day. The thing with graphic novels is that it's such a quick read. Like you're gonna get through that so quickly, and so that's why I read so many graphic novels, is because I was just like downing them like so quickly. Yeah, so a little bit about this book. It's a lot of like military commentary. There's some like war propaganda stuff. It talks about like the way that racism affects characters and their views of people, like despite having been friends with them for so long. Lots of action. This book is about like knights and like different races of people coming together to be knights, but then there's like, wait, something kind of fishy is going on here. Something kind of fishy, something kind of colonizer-y is going on here. There's a lot of different characters. They all have a lot of different depths. And this was like a top 5 book for me. I would definitely have a lot more to say about this if I had read this more recently. Not that this book was bad. I did rate it a 5 out of 5. I just wrote a bad review. Like I was I was basically writing my notes of it while I was going. I wasn't writing like a review. But I would really, really recommend this book. I would really recommend it. It's such a good read. It is so good. Like I was like, after I read it and I closed the book, I was like, wow, that was great. That was amazing. So my next one is Nimona by Andy Stevenson. You might have heard of it. It became a movie recently. I refused to watch the movie until I read the book. And so then I read the book earlier this year, and then I watched the movie. And then I kind of compared the two in my review. This is a thicker review, I will admit. And let's see. I don't think it's super spoilery for the movie or the book, but obviously I'm talking about both, so if you haven't watched or read them, I really, really would recommend that you go read the book, watch the movie, come back, Or maybe you're like me, and like spoilers kind of make you want to read stuff, and maybe you're just gonna listen to me talk about it, and then you're gonna be like, wait, I have to go read this now. So... So I read the book before watching the movie, and I very much preferred the book. I really preferred the book. I felt like it was deeper. I felt like the characters had like more depth. Nimona felt like a full character, you know? She was very much like a teenager. She was very much like a like kind of angsty at times, kind of grumpy, jaded, but she also had that chaoticness to her. I feel like it kind of gets lost in the movie just because this is a movie meant for kids, but the book is meant for like teenagers, you know? The graphic novel really impacted me when I read it. Like it was such a shorter like story compared to a lot of the other ones I read, but it had so much impact on me. And it's like, once you get me with that freaking found family, dude, it's over. It is over. Because I was like, I read that book and I was like, I need a minute. Like, I need to take some time to really think about this. Because it was so impactful. I just loved it. One of my quotes from my review was, Nate Stevenson, take such a silly idea like a shapeshifter sidekick who's more evil than the villain and turn it into an avenue to explore topics of classism, militaristic issues, morality conundrums, beyond. It was really good. It was like really, I just loved that. I loved it. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm a guy who likes a silly concept that goes into deeper topics later on. I'm a guy who likes that. So I really loved that. I really loved it. And I love morality, like conversations about like how morality works, but from character to character. That's so fun to me. You know? And then, I loved, this wasn't really a thing in the movie, which is why I really preferred the graphic novel, because they had more freedom to do all of these different ideas. But, like, Ballister has this strong idea that killing needs to mean something. That it is vulgar, it is sometimes unnecessary, because Nimona, girl, she was killing like it was a freaking instinct. And it was, because she's very much animalistic. But Ballister is like, if you are going to kill someone, you have to be so sure about it. You have to let it weigh on you. You have to let death weigh on you. You have to know about it, you know? And like, this has so much impact later on, because then when he is shown to kill, he kills for Nimona's safety. Like, for Nimona. Okay, the first time he kills someone, it is for Nimona's safety. The second time he kills someone, he is killing Nimona. Like, he does not want to do it, but he has to do it because it's gone too far and people will get hurt and he has to do something about it. But he is so not regretful, because he did have to do it, but he hates himself for it at the end. Ugh. You know? I just love that. They do not include that in the movie, because I don't think they, like, kill anyone until, like, the lady. Do they even kill her in the movie? I don't remember. Which is upsetting. I wish kids' movies would, like, not shy away from killing people. Am I crazy? Or, like, I feel like as the years go on, they kill people less and less. Like, it used to be a thing in, like, Disney movies that they were killing people left and right. And now they're like, oh, this person's dead, and it's always like, no, they're not. They're gonna come back. Like, they're not dead. They're never dead. No one stays dead. It's just annoying, you know? I just want the weight of death to be a thing in kids' shows as well. Kids' movies. Sorry. You know? So, I really enjoyed that about the book. Also, the idea that Nimona never fully gives Ballister her full backstory, but we also don't really see the full backstory. I will say the one pro about the movie, I really enjoyed the backstory in the movie a lot more than in the book. The book was fine, like, it made sense, but the impact of it was a lot heavier in the movie. It was like, because it didn't do the whole she is a human who was turned into a monster. In the movie, it was she's a monster who is kind of exploring the idea of being human. And so it holds a lot more weight when she doesn't like being called a monster, because she is genuinely not in control of that genetic part of herself in the movie. But in the book, when people call her a monster, it's like, well, why would she feel bad about that if that's, like, completely out of her control, you know? Okay, I'm being okay, the sentence I just said doesn't make sense. What I mean is, in the book, she is turned into a monster. She had no control of it. They did it without her, like, permission. So why would she feel bad when people call her a monster, or as bad, as if she was born a monster? There is nothing she can do to change it. She can act as human as she wants, but at the end of the day, people are always going to see her as a monster. Of course she's going to feel way worse about it in the movie than in the book. You know? Ugh. You know? And it brings that whole she is a monster pretending to be a girl quote. It hits a little different when it's true. Like, she's, you know? And the whole, basically, like, suicidal, like, ideation shit in the movie was like, damn, that is crazy. I really like that part. I didn't like suicide, but I liked the manifestation of her feelings as a monster, you know? The Ambrose fucking apology in the book, way better. He does not apologize in the movie. I just want to say that. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't take, like, I don't know what they did, but they tried to make him way more like Eugene. First off, they designed him to look exactly like Eugene, basically, with the stupid gay haircut. He can be any race, but where's the golden hair? I want the golden hair. I wanted that long, flowing golden hair. Because that's so cute. Because otherwise, he kind of just, like, has the same silhouette as Ballister. And, like, no! Bring back the hair! You know? And, like, it's like, it's like, his whole thing was, like, he was the golden boy, you know? And so if he doesn't have, like, the golden hair, it's like, well, is he the golden boy? He's barely wearing gold. Like, I like the simple character designs that were in the book. And I thought for the most part they did pretty good with the 3D models. I just didn't like Ambrose's fucking hair. I didn't like it. I wanted him to have the golden hair. I wanted him to be at fault for his actions. I wanted him to have fucked up. But in the movie, it's like they're like, no, he's a good person. So he never did anything bad. And it's like, no, he did, though. He didn't... Okay, I will say in the movie, they do the whole, like, hey, Ballister has a gun now, and he just shot the queen, which is crazy. Also, they made it a queen, not a king. Slay. Sucks she died, but... So I guess it makes more sense for Ambrose to be like, hey, dude, you killed the queen. Like, I saw it happen. So, like, I guess it makes more sense why Ambrose didn't apologize. But still, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his character a lot more in the book because he was a flawed character, you know? He was a flawed character who never apologized. And then when he realized he didn't, he felt so much guilt. And I enjoyed that a lot more than in the movie. It felt like they were, like, cleaning his character in the movie, and I didn't like that. I wanted him to have flaws. The ambiguous ending in the book, what the fuck is wrong with them? Oh, it was so sad. No, it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. It was really good. I love the final line that they have in that book. I'm not gonna reveal it, just in case you wanted to read it. The ending of the movie is fine. It's a kids movie, so it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But like, you know, So, those are my thoughts on those two books. One of them I had a lot more feelings about than the other. I'm so sorry, but they're both on my top 5 list. Like, both of them. Like, go read those. They're so good. Yeah, that's... Wow, this is a lot longer than I expected. I had a lot of thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. But also, if you didn't, I still might do this because I want to read more graphic novels. And I want to talk about plot stuff. I feel like that might help me with my own plot stuff and my own stories. And, like, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't, you know? I just enjoy it. So, I will be back. Okay. Bye.